I had no idea that legalizing same-sex marriage would have such a profound effect on the Canadian education system. I was completely oblivious. I realized how naive I was back in those days, but you wouldn't think that, you know, 2 men or 2 women getting married would have such a profound effect on the education system. But I assure you that it has. Almost immediately after same-sex marriage was legalized in Canada, they began to change the curriculum in schools. What they did is they said, you know, materials relating to human sexuality and same-sex marriage were to permeate the entire curriculum, all subjects, all grade levels. And this type of thing happens in every jurisdiction where same-sex marriage is legalized. This is not just a Canadian experience, it's happened in the States as well. Discussions of group sex, discussions of anal sex. I mean, you can't get too much more graphic than that, I don't think. We're talking about 12-year-old kids learning about anal sex. And this is common, this is not a rare thing. I'm not an outlier. This is now in the curriculum documents. They learn about sexual consent now in Ontario schools in you know, as early as kindergarten. They introduce the concept of consent. It's just completely polluted the entire curriculum in Ontario schools, in Canadian schools. Well, the parents are waking up, but you know, it's almost, you know, for a lot of them, they feel helpless that they can't do anything about it. You protest, you go to the school and you say, I don't want my child to learn that information. They say, sorry, sir, it's a curriculum. We have to teach you stuff by law. It's beyond our control. I was in denial for a little bit. I thought to myself, maybe they won't teach my kids this stuff. Maybe they won't teach my kids this stuff. That period of denial didn't last very long, and I eventually called a lawyer. I definitely didn't win when we went to court. The court refused to force the school board to give me advance notice. The court would not force the school board to let my kids opt out, but the court did agree with us that the school board was violating my family's constitutional rights. And the court said, they are violating your constitutional rights, but we're not going to make them give you advance notice, and we're not going to let you pull your kids out of class. Well, this is certainly not the type of thing that should be happening in a free and democratic country. But this all happened very quickly. This happened very quickly. You know, Australia has a very wonderful opportunity to resist this. We in Canada didn't have that opportunity. It happened so quickly. There was no election. We woke up one day and we had same-sex marriage. So my name is Steve Tuрлукис. I'm a dentist living in Ontario, Canada. I live in a town called Hamilton in southern Ontario, and I'm the father of 2 school-aged children. They're now 11 and 13, and I'm a parent who has fought very hard to protect my children from indoctrination in Ontario schools.